What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunched Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Oscar De La Hoya, Gervonta Tank Davis, and Ryan Garcia. Get this. De La Hoya on Garcia Tank negotiations. He states, "We're talking and it's a great start." Golden Boy Promotions head Oscar De La Hoya offered a promising update Friday on negotiations that are taking place for the potential fight between Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Tank Davis. And De La Hoya says everyone is eager about that fight. That is the only fight Ryan wants. That's the only fight that Tank wants, De La Hoya told Fight Hub. He said, "Look, we're talking. So yeah, it's a great start. To get to talk to the other side is a great start. We want that fight. That's the bottom line. So as negotiations continue, maybe we'll release something. But in the meantime, we're keeping everything hushed because we want to surprise everyone with this super fight that is happening later this year." Let me counterpunch. Sounds like some classic De La Hoya stuff, you know. Everybody's eager that this is the only fight Ryan wants. This is the only fight that Gervonta wants. Look, we're talking. We're talking. So yeah, it's a great start. Yeah, but it is a great start, though. I wouldn't argue with that one bit because there's too many fights that are not happening, and we should see them happen, okay? And Tank needs a premier fight as well as Ryan needs a premier fight. But the only thing that puzzles me is, like, the only fight that one or the other wants is each other, okay? Well, that's good and fine and dandy if the fight gets made, but what happens after the fight happens? Is it going to be a joint effort? Will these guys, will they link up for a rematch? Will it be a rematch clause? Will it be a trilogy? Will one guy win, the other one guy win? All this stuff. Like, when you hear that's the only fight they want, it sounds cool, but then it's like, okay, what if it doesn't go down? That's what I think of. Like, what if this fight that both fighters want so bad don't happen? What are we going to receive from these guys? More than likely, bullshit. Because if they don't want to fight nobody else but each other, but they don't end up fighting each other, it just lets you know it's almost like a excuse or a justification for them to fight someone that we don't want to see. Okay, does that make sense? Like, those guys, hey, I only wanted this fight, so since it doesn't happen, I guess I'll fight anybody. So the question is it about what you want, or is it about what you or the fans want? Because the fans are the reasons, we're the reasons that we pay for we support these type of fights, because it's certain type of fighters that are fighting. These marquee fighters should be fighting each other. And if they don't get those fights, that doesn't mean you go and fight Joe Blow. You know what I mean? Or Glass Joe. You don't fight those guys. You fight the next best guy. That's what you do. So I think it's reasonable, or it's not too unreasonable to ask, like, listen, if we don't get that fight, can we at least get a Devin Haney? Can we get at least a Teofimo Lopez? Can we get something? A Regis Prograis? Can we get something? A Josh Taylor? Because all these guys are supposed to be at 140, right? The WBA regular belongs to Gervonta Tank Davis, and Ryan Garcia says he's not going to the 135 ever. So at 140, there's enough people there, that can challenge you, especially at that weight class. So I wouldn't fall for any of these other things. Like, if this fight doesn't happen, which it won't be a surprise if it didn't happen, okay, but what else are we going to receive from you guys? Are we going to receive some challenges from you, from other fighters? Or are we just going to see some guy that we never heard of, or that we don't want to see you fight because we already pretty much know the outcome because it's a damn cherry pick? Which one are we going to see? Which one, or what are we going to receive? I think if they're going to be promoters of themselves, self-promotions, I think they should have in mind to understand that the fans need to be satisfied. So if that fight that only I want, I don't get, so at least I can give myself a good challenge as well as my fans something worth watching. Okay. But anyway, it does sound good to hear De La Hoya saying that they're talking. You guys tell me what you think about Oscar De La Hoya's statements towards this supposed potential mega fight. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.